to the level of anti-Semitism?
Dana, I believe that this is all a pretext. And if you look at the leader of the Republican Party, Donald Trump, he is dining with white nationalists and anti-Semites. The people that Kevin McCarthy just put on committees like Marjorie Taylor Greene and others are speaking at white nationalist rallies. This is, as my colleague said, Bakersfield BS. This is all pretextual. And I don't accept the premise that this has anything to do with the conduct of any of the Democratic members. This is merely the weakness of Kevin McCarthy's speakership, that he's so reliant on these extreme members. I mean, how can you, on the one hand, suggest that these are some kind of legitimate basis for unseating Democrats from committees and put someone like George Santos on any committee? The hypocrisy just grabs you by the throat. So I don't want to dignify the pretext that they're giving for any of us. What they're doing is really catering to the most extreme members of their conference.
Well, I do, though, want to ask, because this has been out there, and it is definitely a big issue that we're going to hear a lot more about on the House floor next week, Congresswoman. So when you apologized for all about the Benjamins comment, you said anti-Semitism is real, and I'm grateful for Jewish allies and colleagues who are educating me on the painful history of anti-Semitic tropes. What did you learn?
A lot. I certainly did not or was not aware that the word hypnotize was a trope. I wasn't aware of the fact that there are tropes about Jews and money. That has been a very enlightening part of this journey. To insinuate that I knowingly said these things when people have read into my comments to make it sound as if I have something against the Jewish community is so wrong. If you remember, when I first got elected to Congress, it was when the FBI report came out on the rise of anti-Semitism. As a rep elected, the first op-ed I wrote was on that report, which I talked about how it was important for us as a community to coalesce around the Jewish community and fight against anti-Semitism. I voted for every single resolution, no Republican can say that, condemning anti-Semitism. My work is clear. The collaboration and work that I do with my Jewish colleagues is very clear. The reason that the Democratic caucus has not removed me and will not support my removal on the Foreign Affairs Committee is because I have done the work to make sure that I do not support any bigotry.
2 Republicans have already come out in support of you, saying that they won't vote to remove you. They can lose, what, 1 other, maybe 2 others? Do you think next week when the House votes that you will have enough votes, and have you talked to other Republicans?
What I do know is that the 2 Republicans that have been public and some that have privately said that they are not going to vote to remove me are doing so because they don't want to be seen as hypocrites. They have taken a position in the last Congress, and they will continue to do that. And I believe that that is a really important piece here, because their stance to stand behind 2 members that were accused of inciting violence and threatening the lives of members of Congress was to say the majority should not have the job of removing the minority from their committees. And I hope that they keep their word.
Final word.
These smears inspire violence. And the 3 of us have said over and over to Speaker McCarthy, when you say this, we hear it on voicemails, we see it in emails, we're shouted at, at airports or public spaces, parroting what you say. You have to condemn the violence and stop spreading smears. Otherwise, you've put a target on all of our backs, the backs of our families, and there's real-life consequences, as we've just seen, sadly, with Speaker Pelosi's husband in the video that's come to light of that.